90% skill, 15%.
My name is Dina Ahmed, and I'm the Executive Vice President of Marketing and Branding here at Cotton Holdings. But more importantly, I'm a Fighting Texas Aggie, Class 2016. On behalf of Cotton Holdings, the University of Texas, and Texas A&M University, welcome. And thank you so much for joining us here today at Cotton's World Headquarters for what's going to be an exciting morning. Did everyone have an extra cup of coffee? Because I'm feeling a lot of jittery and excitement, or is that just all the tension with all the Aggies and Longhorns in the room? I'm just kidding. We're all gathered here today for one thing, and one thing only, and it's to talk about the return. The rivalry is back. The Lone Star Showdown is back, and that's what we're here to talk about today. The Lone Star Showdown is a national treasure, and it's something that's been missing in college sports for some time. And after 12 years, we're here today to talk about that. Over the years, we've seen everything play out in the fields and courts, from careers being made to history-making plays. We saw UT's Noble Doss make the impossible catch in 1994, and A&M's Wrecking Crew demolished the competition in the Southwest Conference under R.C. Slocum. And I'm so excited to announce that our legend is here with us today. Everyone in this room, whether you say hook 'em, gig 'em, or you're just a Texan or just a college fan, you can all attest to how important this rivalry is. You know the emotions it brings, the memories it carries, the traditions it holds. Everyone in this room knows how important this is for our institutions, for our families, for our schools, and everyone has a memory here. I remember growing up as a first-generation Texan, getting up and on Saturdays watching football with my father. And to be able to watch this legacy come back and to watch this tradition come back is an absolute honor. I'd actually like to open our morning by taking it way back to when this rivalry started back in 1894. And who better to take us down memory lane than our storytellers of the present? I'd love to invite two guys to the stage to talk about the history and the importance of this rivalry. You may not recognize them immediately, but you know their voices, only because they have the faces for radio. Let's welcome Andrew Monaco, voice of the Aggies, and Craig Way, voice of the Texans, to stage to talk about the history of this great rivalry.
Was a shot, but it's not. Right?
Did you get the feeling we walked into something?
I think we did, and I don't have nearly enough makeup to make up for that. Partner, we have talked about this is a rivalry that unites and divides, sometimes in the same household.
Oh yeah, it's done it a lot, certainly. And I think over the years, one of the great things when I'm being up here is getting to see friends, yes, friends from the Brazos Valley that I didn't get to see that often, other than there was a recent baseball regional, and then there was some basketball in the past. But getting to see an old friend like Olin Buchanan, who Obi and I knew each other when he was with the Tyler Morning Telegraph and I was working in Dallas. And there were so many different connections between this. There is a lot of family. And I do a lot of high school football television, so sometimes I do have a face for television also. But when I do it, I never failed to hear a coach, if I was calling a playoff game a week, the week of the Texas A&M game, the week of the Lone Star Showdown, saying, well, if he had graduated from A&M, my guys are going to get the Longhorns this year, or the other way around. The high school coaches always said they loved it because every year, one side or the other either divided a field house or united them. Coach Slocum knows about that as well, dealing with the high school coaches for years. It's meant an awful lot. So there is a family connection. There is a bond, even as the rivalry itself is very intense.
I think it's the legends as well, right? RC being here. My partner for basketball is John Thornton. He played in the rivalry. He coached in the rivalry and knows all about it. My partner for football is Dave Elmendorf. Growing up in the Houston area, he was all around it, played on that field. He even had teammates with the Rams. Some of them he liked were Longhorns.
Jim Bertelsen.
Right.
Off of that.
I think they roomed together. So That's, to me, that's the indelible memories. And no matter what you did growing up, you knew about this. Yes, so important to the state of Texas. This is a national rivalry, right?
Yeah.
You knew what was going on. You didn't make plans on Thanksgiving.
No.
Well, you ate, and then you watched.
And then you watch.
And I can't help but think, for you and I, for me, Dave South, the voice of this rivalry, you have a long lineage. And to me, it's like almost being a placeholder. But for you, Bill Schoening, Jerry Trupiano, Brad Sham, Ron Franklin, Tom Dorr. And then before that, heck, it was the network throughout the state. The great Kern Tips, Connie Alexander, they would have these games. To me, it's the legends, the Hall of Famers that have been here. But I also can't think of, without, as I say, the indelible memories, Craig, of those kids who walked in and watched, and that's a memory. No matter where you are, in what generation, you have a memory, an indelible memory of this rivalry.
I've got my own memories, obviously, both that were on the plus side for Texas and the plus side for Texas A&M. And my first year in the booth was 1992, and Coach Slocum had the Aggies on a roll, and they won that year. And I can remember in 1994, sorry, Zena, when she said Noble Doss made the impossible catch in 1994. That was impossible. It was 1940. But in 1994, the reason why I remember 94 is the word was don't kick off to Leland McElroy. Texas did. Leland took it back. The next year, to speak to your Dave South reference, 1995, final ever game in the Southwest Conference. Texas wins at Kyle Field, and we're just going through the post game, and the door flies open to our booth, and there's a guy with tears streaming down his face, and he screamed at us. We're on the air, and he said, "Beat the hell out of TU!" And when he said that, Dave South reached in and pulled him away. He wanted to go into the. That was the intensity of that rivalry, and so I have memories of both sides having high moments and low moments and historic moments.
And I think if you go back, bonfire is such part of the tradition, and I understand the tradition and I understand triumph, but that was togetherness, was it not? And that's another one that is indelible.
It was a time that I think it did bind folks on both sides, and I think between Coach Slocum and Coach Brown and what they did. There was a real coming together. It was a very sad time. It was a tragic time, and there was that wonderful tribute at halftime with both bands. I mean, it was a memorable moment. There's no doubt about it, and that's the difference. I'm often asked because Texas has some other rivals. Obviously, they have that one that's north of the Red River, and that's a pretty big one. But it's different than that. It's just a completely different rivalry. It burns in a different way. There's a lot of state pride here. And the pride here between Aggies and Longhorns and Aggies together is that, Keith Moreland, who played both football and baseball in this rivalry and joins me on the broadcast, said, it's like your brother. Now, some like to say big brother, little brother, this, that, your brother, and they knock each other down and then get each other up, and then they move on from there. So there is a Lone Star togetherness, and that's why we're excited about the restoration of this rivalry. And that's really how it should be fair because of what Cotton Industries does, and it's all about the restoration, and this is the restoration of the Lone Star Showdown.
Well, it's interesting because we have talked about the past, and to Craig's point, and thanks to Cotton as well, it is so exciting because now the present and the future, we do restore the rivalry.
With that, we're going to transition, turn your attention to the video screens, and then we've got some more important people than ourselves to talk about, so enjoy the presentation.
What builds a rivalry? Is it the roots of history? Or the battles etched in time? What happens when the echoes fade? Do you let it wither or rebuild it stronger? As Cotton restores what time has worn, the legacy is renewed. Stronger. Deeper. Unbreakable. Texas A&M Aggies. Texas Longhorns. More than a game. A legacy restored.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, I am pleased to introduce the Lone Star Showdown presented by Cotton Holdings. Never in my wildest dreams would I've ever expected to see these three logos together. It's an emotional day for me to see my alma mater, the brand that I love so much, Cotton, and an iconic organization like UT, all here today. The partnership that Cotton has with these two schools just makes sense for us. Our cultures and our traditions align. Our desire to be the best in the business and simply to win is something that we can all relate to. As a trusted restoration partner of businesses across North America, Cotton knows a thing or two about restoring things back to their former glory. And we promise this will be no different. We've helped people and businesses find relief after some of the world's biggest catastrophes through our turnkey solutions, so we have experience necessary to do this legendary rivalry justice. The Lone Star Showdown is back and with a brand new partner, and we're ready to take this game on. And there's no one better to talk about the legacy of Cotton, the traditions, and how our cultures align better than our founder and CEO, Pete Bell.
This is my time. I'm on the rise. Can't hold me down, I'm too high. This is my time. Ready to shine. Brighter than all of the lights. Cause when it's game time, seconds away and the game's on the line. There ain't no doubt in my mind.
All right, well, you guys really didn't come to hear me talk. These two gentlemen are fired up right now, I can tell you that. I just spent some time in the green room with them, and this is exciting. After 12 years coming back, this is exciting. As a kid, it sounds cliche, all right, to see this or be here, Pete Bell, as a kid. It sounds cliche, but I'm truly honored as a CEO and founder to be the sponsor of the Lone Star Showdown. So thank you guys. Z, creative team, Brian, Jeff Erler, the rest of the A&M and the UT team, thank you guys for making this happen. It was a lot of pushing paper, a lot of stress, a lot of late nights. I appreciate it. It does not go unnoticed. Zena talked a little bit about Cotton, who we are. We're blessed being in business for 28 years as a company that helps people. Our culture is to help people every day in the service business, get people's lives back together. And so we spend a lot of time in the sports and the youth space through sponsorships with incredible organizations, institutions such as A&M and UT, obviously now. But the student athlete is the definition of the future, the leaders, the innovators. Everything that we do on a daily basis is we're giving back to these organizations and institutions. Not only does the partnership that we invest in with the institutions, and if you look at the pedigree that we have of well-known names such as the Astros and beyond, we invest our time, not just the money that we do, in order to get the return 10x. And so we take a partnership seriously, and sometimes we come in a little bit too hot, so you guys get ready. It's going to be fun. But we want to make sure that we give equally what we want in return, which is, is goodness, right? And so I will tell you, having Connor Wigman on NIL is special to me. I spent a lot of time with him. There's a history there that I won't go into, but what a tremendous kid. We look forward to doing some stuff with, obviously, with the Longhorn side and go from there. I'm not a big note guy, but I was told I had to do notes, and so I'm going to double check real quick. But like I said, I think it's important that you guys get ready to hear from these two gentlemen. They're fired up, like I said earlier. And thank you guys. I really appreciate the media, everybody coming out. Means a lot to us, and we're excited. So, Z, turn these guys loose. All right. Thank y'all.
Is thrilled, as he mentioned, to begin our partnership with UT Athletics and support this iconic institutions and the students who call it home. Absolutely honored to introduce University of Texas Vice President and Lois and Richard Folger Athletics Director, Chris Alconte.
Flip the script. I was supposed to follow Well, Trev. Hi, everybody. I think first and foremost, Pete Bell, thank you. Couldn't think of a better corporate sponsor for this event. To think about restoring a rivalry, what your company does. Cotton Holdings is a perfect sponsor for this when you think about what we've been doing. I think everyone knew when I became the director of athletics at the University of Texas, they asked the first question, how about the A&M rivalry? This is, I said it then, I'll say it now, the most important thing we can do is restore this rivalry. College athletics is built on great rivalries. It's what separates us from everybody else. We think about the passion, the history. We can all look at it's A&M's culture. It's what they stand for, it's who they are. As an institution, it's the University of Texas and who we are, and as an institution, playing on the field. Playing on the field. I mean, it's our pageantry that goes against each other. And we come back after the game, we talk about that for a year in the water coolers. Talk earlier about our two esteemed gentlemen talking about what the rivalry meant historically. The last time we played this game was 2011, right? Being back here today is critical for this state, it's critical for college football, but I'm so excited for both alumni bases. I'm so excited for both institutions to be partnering with you. It is awesome when you think about the restoration and the reclamation of this rivalry. It is going to be fantastic. Secondly, I think I had the dutiful knowledge to tell you that it is going to be a neutral site game. We're going to move the game to Dallas one year, and the next year we are going to move to, just joking. How ridiculous is that? Should see Coach, holy cow, we're not doing that. Everyone just puckered up just a little bit. But when we were both talking about, Trev and I were flying back yesterday from our meetings in Asheville, we were just talking about how excited this is, how excited we are to be a part of something that gets a rebirth, right? This coming year is going to be fantastic for both institutions. I look forward to a great football season. I cannot wait till Saturday we get a chance to go back to Kyle Field and play in the game, and it's going to be an awesome time. But it's what is the most important thing. It's going to be great for the state of Texas. It's going to be great for the college football in general, to have this game being played again. And we have many, many memories. And Pete Bell, I can't thank you enough for stepping up to the plate, but more importantly, understanding what it meant for the state. And Trev, for your leadership at A&M, and Coach Slocum, what you do for your institution is second to none. But the gravitas of you understanding what this game means, and you playing in big games, and understood that Oklahoma does not play Nebraska. I grew up watching that game. They don't play anymore. It's a travesty. It's a travesty that we don't play these games, because that's what makes college football great, and the pageantry which makes it great. So I thank you all very much for being here today. I personally thank you very much for doing this. But guys, it's back, and it is going to be an exciting, exciting time. So appreciate you all being here today. Hook 'em.
Thank you so much, Chris. We're thrilled to begin this partnership with UT, and we know it's going to be a fruitful one. In 2023, Cotton was honored to begin our partnership with A&M Athletics. And last year, we even signed our first ever NIL deal with Connor Wigman. And so we're honored to continue this partnership and even expand it to this capacity. Now it's only fair to turn the mic over to Texas A&M. May I introduce Trev Alberts, Director of Athletics at Texas A&M University.
Thank you so much. Howdy. It's great to be here, and I want to thank Chris. Thank you for those kind comments, Chris. You know, with Chris, you just never know what you're going to get. So I had 2 different speeches prepared. So this is the nice one. But no, we really, on behalf of Texas A&M and General Mark Welsh and our entire university, we're just thrilled to be here. Like Chris said, we are so excited that the rivalry is back. And like Chris, I first want to start with Pete Bell. It's a pleasure to get to meet you, and congratulations on building such an amazing company. Thank you for doing this. You know, some people put their money where their mouth is, and you talk about community and the investment in the community. You and your team, you're investing in this rivalry is a really big deal. And I know this isn't the only philanthropic play that Cotton Holdings does. So we want to thank you for helping make this, you know, as Chris said, in my opinion, you know, college rivalries is what college sports are all about. I mean, and so having people step up and to help drive the energy and excitement around it's a really big deal. So we want to thank you and your team at Cotton Holdings. We want to thank Chad Wiegman. Chad, where are you? Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us your son. We really like Connor. I've been out to practice a few times, and the ball placement looks really good. You'll be really proud of him. So we're excited about his health and what he's doing for us. Zena, thank you for all of your hard work. It was a pleasure to read that you have 2 degrees from Texas A&M. So very, very well done. How about a round of applause for Zena and her team for their effort that they put in? You know, as I mentioned, what makes college athletics, and Chris alluded to this again, is rivalries. And it was really sad that a Texas A&M rivalry didn't happen for this long. So we join Texas, we join all of you, the state of Texas, in saying just how excited we are that this rivalry is back. I had the great privilege of playing in a lot of rivalry games. I had the privilege, as Chris said, of playing against Oklahoma regularly on Thanksgiving weekend. And there was just something a little bit different about that game. It was a respectful rivalry, right? But all year long, you thought about and talked about that rivalry game. And I think that this game has a chance to be the best rivalry football game in all of college football. I really believe that. That kind of energy, that kind of passion is right here in the state of Texas. And so we're really excited about that. As was mentioned earlier, a gentleman that participated in this rivalry more than anybody else is here, and it's R.C. Slocum. It's a gentleman that went 16-14 against Texas representing the Aggies. And so we want to salute you, sir, and thank you for your friendship and for your mentorship of me and helping me learn all of what makes Aggieville special. So it's really been an exciting time for us and our family. We've only been a part of the Aggie family for about 6 months, and I've had a lot of people ask me, you know, there's a lot of new things at Texas A&M. So we have this new partnership, right? We have this new rivalry coming back. I'm new. Of course, we have a new coach in Mike Elko. I get a lot of questions about, well, what can we expect from this team? What it'll look like as we think forward a little bit. And I was just thinking a little bit about Cotton Holdings. You know, you don't build a company like this as fast as this team, Pete and his team have built this, without a couple things. So I'll tell you what a couple things, not speaking for Mike Elko, but in my observation of our football program, I can tell you what we're focused on, and I can tell you what we're not focused on. Number one, what we're focused on is substance. We're not going to worry much about style. This will be a program under Mike Elko that's worried about substance. You don't build Cotton Holdings, Pete, to what it is today, being focused on style. You build it through substance. We're not focused on perception. You know, Zena had mentioned to me, hey, we come in a little bit hot sometimes. They're not worried about perception. They deal in reality. And so I think those 2 things, those sort of exemplify a lot of what that coach's team's represented. And so that's what we think Aggie values are all about. So again, like Chris, we just want to say how grateful we are. We're so excited. Our student athletes are excited. Again, this isn't just about football, recognizing that that's a really critical component of it, but all of our student athletes are going to have an opportunity to compete in this rivalry. So we're extraordinarily proud to be a part of it. We're grateful for all of you. Thank you for being here. And like Chris said, this is really important to the state of Texas, and we're going to do the very best that we can to have a football program and an athletic department that's representative of the excellence that this rivalry desires. So again, thank you all for having us, and as always, gig 'em.
Thank you so much, Trev. Just as Cotton restores properties after storms, so too is Cotton as restoring this beloved rivalry. I'm going to take a moment and thank Chris and Trev for joining us. And to all of you, whether you are here in person in Houston or joining us virtually, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day for this big announcement for us. I want to make sure that everyone leaves this room feeling the electricity. I don't want you to forget that moment that when that game stopped in 2011, and we're talking about this now here today, that we're back. The rivalry is back. You can feel the electricity in the air. You can feel it in the energy. Now let's get ready for our first matchup. We're going to be ready to play in College Station as we have the first women's volleyball game on September 27th in College Station. And just like Trev mentioned, this is a big day, big deal for us, and we can't wait to take this legacy for years to come. Thank you so much for joining us today. You'll be receiving your press packets in a little bit. Our team will be handing those to you out the door. And I know you guys wanted some one-on-one time with some of these guys. So to the right over here, you can have some time to feed questions to Mr. Del Conte. And to the left over here, you'll have some space to talk to Mr. Alberts. And Pete Bell is also available to answer some of your questions. And once again, we are so excited for the return of this rivalry. We'll see you guys on the field. Thank you again.